with Hezbollah here when he says that you can't see, you can't trace the hand of the president. I beg to differ, because you can see all his acolytes. Murkomen is out there, and Cherargei is there, Sudi was there, and probably Sudi then got to see the light. I don't know, he had this Paul moment. But when you see the tabling of the motion is a process that, you just don't wake up and say that this is what I'm going to do without considering the political ramifications and the consequences, both in the short term and in the long term of your action. So unless, of course, the president's advisors are ignorant to the ramifications of this, especially when it is headline. It shows up in the headline and engages the Kenyan people in the public spaces to discuss about it, which amplifies the action in this instance. So I think the president either is not getting good advice or he's headlong into it. He may be out there veiled and behind and probably invisible, but if he has got good advice and he ignored it and he has allowed this to spill over, it will cost him. Okay. It will cost him. Now, when you look at the Presidential Benefits Act, has President Uhuru in fact violated or breached that? What do you make, for instance, of Section 6, subsection 2 of that act? Fred, it says that the president, a retired president, will play this advisory role to the government and to the people of Kenya. So let's dichotomize that. Let's split.
It's not just to the president.
It's not just to the president. It talks about the government. So if the president is behind there, waiting for President Uhuru, a retired president, to come and give him advice, I would refer him to subsection 3. What does he say? Section 6, subsection 3 of the Presidential Retirement Benefits Act says that then the government can engage, assign to the deputy president a certain role, just like he was saying. There's a peace mission, for instance, in the Congo. So who is, quote unquote, the government's representative? We hereby appoint you and assign you the role of the peacemaker in the Congo conflict. So the government is there enjoying. You can read it to the Kenyan people, Fred. Section 6, subsection 3 of the Presidential Retirement Benefits, just to disabuse anyone. And they who are in government, who are probably misadvising this president.
As I look for it, because it might take a while.
No problem. No problem. Now that provision enjoins the government and places the burden on the government to write and formally communicate to the retired president. These are the parameters of our engagement in terms of your advisory role, or this is the assignment we would accord you. And then he responds that my schedule does not permit, just like recently, he was telling the Gen Zs, I'm afraid that your visit to Ishaweri to come and visit me conflicts with my earlier schedule, and therefore I am not able to meet you. And so the president then can respond to the government and say that, look, I take up this role in an advisory capacity. But to then, come and brand him that he is in active politics, he is barred, and you're now wielding this wrench against him, and then you're saying that I'm going to actually whack you in terms of your benefits, in violation of Article 151, like Hezbollah had already said. So the totality of all this is one which does not yield positive results or positively for the president. As I close, and you ask, what is the impact of this on the president? And he had earlier on tried to say that, there was bromance in the earlier years of their shared TNA, URP, political tenure, and therefore, all is not lost. But I beg to differ. I beg to differ because I think there is a degree of dishonesty on the part of the president. When he went to Ishaweri just the other day, and there were these cabinet reshuffles and appointments of people who were seen as Uhuru's allies, everybody thought that, well, you see, they have buried the hatchet, and therefore the Kenyan population, the Kenyan people now, look to a prospective future of, a reconciled former president with a current president. Now, the political capital that was remaining in Mount Kenya now has decimated. And for political advisors who are on Ruto's, payroll, I would charge them with total and absolute failure, because whatever was remaining in terms of Mount Kenya, and you say that, he went to Morang and said, I'm going to leave you to God because now I'm at a dead end. He is not at a dead end. He has sunk to the depths of the ocean.
Right. But Gwenda, and this is a wild suggestion, that probably there was